good, guys? It is Reed and welcome back to another video. Man, it feels weird to be back in front of the camera, guys. I gotta tell you, the videos you've been seeing for the last like 2 months have been recorded over 2 months ago. I had a crazy last month or so, big move. I moved to Toronto. I'm in a new apartment now, so definitely going to be a new look moving forward and probably something more permanent. Probably been used to the setups changing a lot, so this is going to be the new setup and probably for the foreseeable future. Pretty happy with it. I'm going to continue to try to make improvements, make it better. I think I like the window. You get the nice back shot of the cityscape, at least when it's not too foggy on the windows. So I'm sitting down now to film a whole bunch of new videos. I'm super excited to bring you guys a bunch of brand new magic content. I've been working on some new effects that I can't wait to share with you guys and that kind of thing. So I'd just like to know in the comments what kind of videos you guys would like to see. If you like my performance breakdowns, I know you guys all like the tutorials. If you want more mentalism content, if you want more performance content, what kind of things you guys want to see, I'd love to know. So anyway, in this video, we're going to be going over an effect I call transfer. Now, I want to be straight up and tell you exactly what this effect is and what it was made for. This is one of the first effects I ever created when I was young, first creating magic, but it's something that's always stuck with me because I like it for a few reasons. Now, the methods are nothing groundbreaking. You will see it, and most of you will probably know how it's being done, but it's a great ice-breaking effect. Anytime, anywhere, any deck, super easy, so there's nothing to worry about going wrong, and it hits really hard. There's a transpo, there's a card changing in the spectator's hands, and there's an element of kind of like a force, I guess I would say. Well, it is a force, but to them, like how they interpret it, it's like how did I pick that? And it just combines all these elements so well, and it has a really nice moment where you play with them where they're caught off guard and they don't know, was this supposed to happen, was this not supposed to happen, and then everything they clue into what's going to happen all at the same time. And it's just a beautiful effect, very simple, very quick, but again, it was meant for these kind of situations, just for you to be able to pick up a deck, do it quickly, and establish yourself as a good performer. And I've done this effect so many times. It is called transfer, and I absolutely love it. So I hope you guys enjoy transfer. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into a performance of transfer. Now, this is a multi-selection effect, which is great. You can get a couple of spectators involved, probably up to about 3 spectators when you do this trick, which is great. So they can go through. First spectator takes out any card they want. They can sign it. They don't have to show you it or anything, so it's really great. Take that card, push it back into the middle of the deck, and I want to show you now that there aren't any breaks being held, nothing like that. The card is lost in the middle of the deck. Now, the second spectator can select, again, any card they want, sign it. Again, you don't see it, which is great. Now you're going to take that card as well, and you're going to put it somewhere. Actually, instead of putting it in the middle, here's what we'll do. We'll do something a little bit different with this one. I want you to actually just hold on to it, okay? Keep it safe, so there's no way I can go anywhere near it. It was what? The Jack of Diamonds, right? Jack of Diamonds. So Jack of Diamonds will go under your hand, okay? So the box will simulate the spectator's number 2's hand with their card underneath it. I believe it was the Jack of Diamonds. Now, we need one more card selected here. So we'll go back, we'll go to a third spectator this time maybe. So they can reach in, it really doesn't matter. Let's say they want this one or they want this one. They can touch that card. And what do they get? They get the Jack of Diamonds? I thought well, if the Jack of Diamonds is here, then that can only mean one thing. What was the initial card you selected? King of Spades? And it is, of course, the King of Spades. All right, guys, so that was transfer. It's a simple, quick hitting effect. A couple of the things that I absolutely love about it is you can use up to 3 spectators, so you get a lot of people involved. It's 2 selections. They're both signed, and you never see them. And now, never seeing them is not a big deal to us as magicians, but for some reason, laymen have an obsession with you not seeing their card. You'll see that in my street magic videos, or I'm sure in your experience, where they take a card and you tell them, well, I'm going to see it in sec, or it doesn't matter if I see it. It's not that kind of trick, but they still keep it hidden when they're signing it, and they don't want you to see it. So it does add some bit of mystery to the effect, and the laymen like that. So this effect, you can keep the cards hidden. Very simple sleight of hand, and it hits really hard. One of the best effects you guys can do is a simple double where you show them a card and you take the card and you put it in their hand and then it changes into a different card. That is honestly the bare bones of this, and I just wanted a little bit more of a presentation around that super simple effect when I was creating it. And so this is kind of that presentation. There's a few moments of they don't see it coming and they get the little shock, which I think is great and helps enhance the effect, but at the end of the day, that's what the effect is, and it's super great for that reason. Let's get into the breakdown. I won't spend too long. It's a pretty simple trick, but step one, always have the deck shuffled because you can. Again, that's a little thing that we know doesn't make a difference, but the spectator, it always feels like it does. Then you're going to have them select a card in whichever way you want. If there's a table, I feel like this feels very, very fair for them to select a card out of a spread. If not, out of your hands works well. I wouldn't opt for a dribble. To me, a dribble always feels a bit more under your control than a spread. So they take that card, they're going to sign it, show their friends if they choose. Now at this moment, all you need to do is control the card to the top. You can do any control you want. Now in the performance, I did the panoramic shift, which honestly is never something I would actually do in the real world. Pretty angle sensitive. I just thought it was a fun thing to do for the video. But typically my top control of choice would be either a spread pass or the float switch by Kalen Morelli. So the float switch is like this, and you take their card, put it in the middle, and it comes to the top. I'm not going to reveal that, but it's a wonderful control, one of my favorites. But whatever control you like, you can do a double undercut where you have them replace the card here, and you cut it back to the top. Whatever your choice is, I'm going to recommend a spread pass. So how that would look is they take their card out, they sign it. The great thing about the spread pass, and the one thing I would urge you, is to make sure it's not a control where you ever have to see the card. Again, I think that does help enhance the effect. So in the spread pass, they can just put their card right where they took it from, and you never see the card, which to them is important. And then you're just gonna come, pass the card to the top, and you're ready to go. So if you need a video on the spread pass, I'll link it above, and you can go check out my tutorial on that. So now that your first selection's on top, you wanna do the same thing, have a second card selected. Now, you could do this at the same time as you have the first one selected, and then just control the first one to the top, and then continue with the second one. I prefer to have them selected, controlled, and then selected again, because I almost like to make the second card feel like a bit of an afterthought, right? So first card selected, controlled, I emphasize that it's lost in the middle of the deck, and then I say, you know what, let's make this more interesting. Let's have another card selected. So they'll select another card, exact same idea, they sign it. At this moment, you want to just do a top change. So you take the card back, and as you're coming back, you just say, here's what we'll do. And that's when you do the top change, okay? So they hand you the card, and you'll feel like there's a lot of heat on this moment, but it's not. The heat comes when you're actually placing the card into the deck. But as you're just taking it back, getting ready, there's no heat there, and it's an easy switch, okay? All I would recommend is that you bring the cards closer to your body, and that's gonna help cover the angles from these sides. So you bring the cards closer into your body, and just make sure this front edge is pointing at their eye line, and there's literally nothing for them to see, right? You guys can be like basically burning my hands, and you can't even tell that that card's being switched, right? So there's nothing to worry about, okay? You have to understand they don't know what a top change is, and obviously if a magician saw that, they would know, but a layman just seeing this and going into the middle of the deck, there's no way they don't believe that this is their card. So we have the first selection on top, and we're gonna do a top change. So you say, let me take that back from you, and then you say, here's what we'll do. We'll take that card and we'll actually leave it somewhere in the middle of the deck. And you can see how that fluidity of motion, of taking it back and looking like you're going straight into the deck, really makes it feel like it's the same card, even though I've switched it. So I come back. Again, if you need a tutorial on the top change, I will link it above. You can go check it out. So now that you've done the switch, you want to make it seem like you're about to put the card back in the deck and you have a change of heart. And again, this is sort of to make everything feel like it's on a whim. And if they believe that you're just improvising, it'll make this switch feel a lot more powerful, because when they backtrack it, they'll think, well, he was just gonna lose it in the deck. So now that he's placed it under my hand, of course it's still my card, because he just decided to do that last minute. That wasn't part of the trick, right? That's the goal that we're going for here. So again, this is the second selection. You do the switch and you immediately come like this, and I like to open the cards with the thumb and say, okay, we'll put this back in the middle. I wouldn't recommend letting it go. Always have a hold on it, and don't shove it too much in the deck, because then that could be the moment they think you do a switch. So just kind of come like this and say, actually, you know what? We'll actually leave that here. I want it to be in view the whole time, and I actually want you to keep it safe. Can you take it and put your hand on it? So have the same person who selected it put their hand on it, because then it'll be easy for them to remember what card it's supposed to be. And then at this moment, I would reiterate what card it's supposed to be by asking them, what was the card again, just so everyone knows? And they will say 2 of clubs in this case, even though the switch has already been done. So again, that whole process, You're gonna get your pinky break for the top change as they're signing the card. You come back and you say, okay, perfect. We'll take this card, we'll leave it in the middle. Actually, you know what? Let's do something different. We'll place this right there in view the whole time, and I want you to put your hand on it to keep it safe. What was the card again? It was the two of clubs. Two of clubs. Okay, keep your hand safe on that two of clubs, and we'll get back to that in a second. I think it is important to have them reveal the card at this moment, because later when that card is forced on them again, everyone can react to, hold on, I thought that card was supposed to be there. The last step of this effect is to force the two of clubs onto a third participant. You could force it back onto the spectator who picked it originally. Sometimes I like that because there's a bit of a shock moment where they feel like their hand is on the card and then they pick it again, right? So it's super weird. You just have them point at a card with their other hand or call stop if you're doing a riffle force. Or I'll have the first spectator selected again because then there's a bit of a juxtaposition, but I do like the second spectator picking it because they'll instantly realize and be like, wait, what the heck? That this is supposed to be under their hand. If there's more people, I'll often do it to a completely different spectator, a third one, just to get them involved. And the only key there is to make sure you reiterate a few times that that's the two of clubs, right? Like I just did. You said, you know, you have your hand on it. What was the card again? They say two of clubs. You say, okay, so the two of clubs is under your hand there. Perfect. Now let's have another card selected. So for this, I'm always going to opt for the spread force or my handling on the spread force. So if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It is an old video. Thinking about redoing it because it was one of the first videos I made and I think it could be a lot better, but I'll go over it quickly here. So in this case, I'm going to shuffle off the card casually to the bottom of the deck to prepare for the spread force. And then I'm going to spread and I'm going to pull that card off the bottom. Now again, I would recommend the spread force here, but you can use whatever force you'd like. I just think this is the fairest option. Now you just feed the cards into that sort of called position above the card. Whenever they want, they just touch a card, any one they want. Let's say they touch this one. You pick up, you know, the spread, you're pinching underneath, and you say this one right here, and they confirm. And while you do that, that's your excuse for the thumb to pinch that card against this packet. And that will give you the leverage you need to push this card into that position. Because if you try to just push it without any leverage, it's not going to work. So you need something holding here to have leverage. So they point at it and you say, this one, are you sure? And then they say yes, and now you just pinch the thumb against this packet, and you're going to use these fingers now. You can just push it easily, and the great part is it'll square up right against the lower packet. So now when you come up into view, it looks like it's perfectly squared with that edge, and that is the furthest most card in the spread, which is the one they touched. So at a bit of a speed, you go like this, and you come up like that, and you kick it out as you come up, and that's what hides it. Bigger action hides the smaller action. So you say, just touch any card. This one right here, yeah, perfect. And then you just show them that card. And then I like to up jog it. So you just use this finger to pull it up and take it out. And at this point, there will be some sort of reaction where they'll say, wait, what? The two of clubs? And I'll be like, wait, what do you mean the two of clubs? And that's when I'll look at it. And this is where you get into a bit of your acting. And you say, wait, I thought you said you picked the two of clubs. And that's when they say, I did. And remember, you don't supposedly know that they picked the two of clubs. They just told you that they picked the two of clubs when you asked them. So you just confirm, like, wait, I thought you said you picked the two of clubs. And they say, yeah, I did. You know, you let it kind of settle, build a little bit. And you say, well, hold on, if this is the two of clubs, then that can only mean, wait, what was your card? And now you ask the first person what their card was. They'd say jack of clubs, and you'd say, you know, there's no way. And then everyone kind of understands what is about to happen at this point. They flip it over, and the jack of clubs has been revealed. Two selections have been found. There's been an incredible transposition. There's been a high and a low moment. There's been a big surprise, and so it's just a wonderful effect all around. So in terms of some other ideas with this effect, this is something that I do actually do fairly often, and how this changes is you do actually get to see the card before you put it under their hand, but you get to use the drop switch, so it adds a nice moment. So sometimes I will do this depending on the situation, but I have that second selection, I do the top change, and I say, you know, we're gonna place it somewhere in the middle, and I say, wait, what card is this? What card did you pick? And as they're answering, I'll flip over a double. Okay, so the top change is now acting as just a switch to show a double. So I switch, say we'll put it in the middle, and then I'm taking this card, the first selection, placing it on top as I ask them, wait, what was this card you picked? They say the two of clubs as I hit that double. Now I'll take the card into the drop switch grip, and this just gives you that moment of showing them the card again, the face of it, right? And that's sort of the one advantage here. You do have to know what the card is before you put it under their hand. So there's two different options, and for me it just depends on how I feel. But then I say, okay, two of clubs, so that's your selection. We'll take that card and we'll set it down there, put your hand on top of it, and I've done the drop switch and I've switched it out. All right guys, so that was transfer. I hope you enjoyed it and see the value in what it is and what it's meant for. It's a quick sort of opener style, knock it out the park, you know. Definitely, you know, pick the controls that work for you. I gave you my recommendations, but it is pretty adaptable, and keep some of the little subtleties in mind and some of the important things that you should say, when you should reiterate what their card is, how you should not look at the cards, and those are the things that will really enhance this effect. Premise wise, like I said, I like to act like this trick was all kind of improvised slash a mistake. So from the moment where I take the card and I say, okay, let's leave it in the middle, actually, you know what, we'll leave it under your hand. That's an improvisation. Then it was a mistake sort of when they pick the card that was supposed to be under their hand. Like, even I don't understand it. That's how I play it. As always, I really appreciate you watching this video. If you'd like any help with any magic or mentalism, I do offer private lessons, so you can go check those out. But I would really appreciate it if you guys enjoyed this video, if you would subscribe to the channel, maybe hit that notification bell if you're real special, because it does help me quite a bit, and hit that like button, drop me a comment, and all that good stuff. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.